We know that over the past few years and maybe even longer, there's been a real hard push to consolidate tech stacks. And a big part of that is to make sure that you're able to consolidate cost. How do you find that firms are able to consolidate those costs without actually risking issues with, let's say, regulatory issues that they might have internally, or even just really being compliant?
Right. So that's you're going right to the core of both business and technology strategy with that question. So about 80% of businesses in North America have a strategy of cloud first. Yet only less than 40% of businesses actually have moved their archiving and compliance solutions totally to the cloud. And the reason is because the data is vast, and therefore there's always a perception of risk, and there's often a cost, especially some of the legacy providers, of doing that. So the effect is, first and foremost, that this business strategy isn't being achieved. Part of the solution is, of course, that many of the big providers are not cloud-based. They're on-prem or whatever, or maybe private cloud, and therefore the data is kept hostage. So that's a big challenge for companies. What we're seeing, however, is that there's waves. I'd almost say tsunamis of change rushing across the landscape. So cloud, while that was a big issue 5 years ago for many industries, is still affecting the compliance and legal space. But also there's, how do we adopt AI? This tremendous change is coming. Many people in the industry don't even really understand it, and therefore they're probably nervous of it. And there's cost, and there's all this risk, and they don't know. And the third thing is coming down the line. It's only beginning to peak, is the need to leverage the data. So you've got all this data. It's incredibly valuable. It's got everything good and bad that's happened to the company since in the last 5-10 years. And there's commercial value there, and compliance owns it, but can't get the value out, even for their own use, let alone for the firm. So these are the kind of the real changes that this failure to adopt a true cloud-first strategy, this has manifested itself.